We are live, episode number 84. I am your co-host, Pisky, and I am joined, as always, by the well-dressed Godfather.
Buongiorno.
How's it going, senor?
Yeah.
You said pre-recording that I am the only one on this planet that asks how you are. And I like that a lot.
That is the truth. It's a little sad, but it is the truth. This podcast deals with the truth and the truth only.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but the truth here on the Always Betting podcast. If you guys notice, for those watching us on Spotify or YouTube, I got the big earphones on today because
you don't
this honestly, Godfather, I got to vent a little bit. This podcast has been making me piss blood because it is driving me crazy. There's sound issues. Last week we had a beautiful episode with a slot machine professional, which does exist, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of comments out there saying this guy that we had.
You know what? Everybody, keep your fucking comments to yourself, okay? I don't want to start swearing, but okay.
Yeah, we said
business about people and their comments. What fun, Napoli? You got it.
We've had some fun with that on X this week as well. But yes, a lot of people calling our buddy T-Bone a liar. He is not a liar, folks. This guy is legit. And I know the last episode, if you watched it, there is some audio issues towards the end and stuff like that. It drives me crazy because I don't know how to fix it. And if Pisky Positivo has one flaw,
you're a perfectionist.
I'm a perfectionist.
Let me just cut you off. I know you already. You know, you're my illegitimate fucking child. I don't know. Just listen. You're a perfectionist and it bothers you, you know? And I got to tell you, how many times I got to tell you? You want a fucking perfect podcast? You got to get a studio. You got to get a producer. I don't know, like fucking, like the CBC wouldn't be able to take care of you.
Yeah,
that's how much perfectionist it is. In the dungeon, I guess 5 years ago. Look at this. Look at this shade of gray. It's off. This fucking guy's trying to rip me off.
That was on
all the crew. Logo. Let's go.
The t-shirts for our party in Costa Rica. Yes, I am a perfectionist. I'm sorry. I believe I got that from my father. He's kind of the
GSP.
Same way. Yeah, and I need things done properly, and this podcast is a pain because there are things that screw up regularly, and that's, I guess, part of it, as some of these professional podcasters say. Like, you got to go through these growing pains and, you know, get better equipment and better cameras and whatnot.
Well,
and then, now it's the YouTube stuff. Dude, that is a Pandora's box, what I've opened there, because I love doing this on video. I think it really brings out who we are to another level, and a lot of our viewers and followers will agree with me there. But this YouTube thing, you got to do a lot to it, right? It's not just uploading a video like it was on Spotify, right? There's SEO, there's tagging, there's making, like, I hired these guys on Fiverr, whatever. They changed all the titles on YouTube. They changed all the descriptions. They put thumbnails that are like bright yellow and bright red, and I'm like, oh, and then they changed
again. You're not getting what you paid for. Who are these people? Send me the email.
Well, and then so they're making all these changes, and I get it. I get some of the titles. You know, it is more intriguing to click on and whatnot, but that's really not my game. You know, I know you got to be a bit of a salesman in this business. That, you know, you got to sell. You got to get people to click on your shit. But that's not my game, really. It really isn't. So I left it up to these guys, and now I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about all the bright colors and stuff like that. And then one of the episodes, I think it was episode 78, we talked about cheating at sportsbooks. They changed the title in a way that it kind of promotes that. And if you've been following anything we've said, folks, on this podcast, do we ever encourage you to steal from sportsbooks? Yeah, no, that's not who we are. So it's a lot of, like, you know, I'm dealing with people that don't speak the best of English as well, and it's frustrating. So I'm frustrated. There you go. 5 minutes in.
You're dealing with a call center.
I mean, you know, that's what these sites are.
All these things, they're all your fault. All of them, because you can't leave well enough alone. We had our gig just on the radio or just audio only Spotify, and that was it. That was fine, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I could do
More,
the
more, more.
podcast. I could do the podcast in my boxers and a white wife beater, and that would be it. But no, now I gotta shave every Friday. I gotta watch what I say. I can't swear. I'm sorry for my swearing again. It's come out in social media, But what can I do? Pisky says things, he pisses me off, and then I swear. That's just the fucking cycle of life.
And we've been dealing this for 15 plus years.
So
I think
many
we've been on this.
Holy fuck, Anyway, let's go.
Listen, first things first, I didn't mention this prior to hitting live, and a lot of people are going to give me shit for it.
I hate when you ambush the fuck situation.
Did you bring the rock?
You see, you have to give me a heads up.
My dad
The Rock will be a Super Bowl special, guaranteed.
Okay, Super Bowl special. Because he told me, he's like you guys, I don't understand what you're saying when you talk about the betting stuff, but I really am curious to see this rock now. It's like part of the plot.
I'll get the rock. I'll get the rock.
Okay, so sorry, Dad. Next week you get
GSP,
to see the rock.
That's on your son. A simple one-liner an hour ago would have given me enough time to find the rock. It's in one of 3 boxes. Even I could have found it.
All right, next week we'll get the rock.
Yeah.
Okay, Godfather, let's get this party started. We got quite a big roadmap here. The first thing I want to talk about is the NFL playoffs. You, sir, have had a little chip on your shoulder with these Buffalo Bills mafia people, and I want to talk about it.
Why do you want to talk about it? Like,
what do you got against the Bills?
I got nothing against the Bills, but the fan base is a little juvenile. That's all. I can't put it any other way. Like, you cannot talk actual football with these people. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm trying to have a conversation about who should be Defensive Player of the Year. And, I'm making a case, not from a fandom base. I'm making a case for T.J. Watt versus Myles Garrett. Better stats across the board.
Who, TJ?
Who do you fucking think? Yes, TJ. Okay? All right?
Yeah.
PFF, Pro Football Focus, does some fucking non-quantitative study, okay? Mm-hmm. And says Myles Garrett should be the Defensive Player of the Year, okay?
How many games did TJ get hurt? Didn't he get hurt at the end?
He basically missed in the last game of the season, got injured in the fourth quarter, and then could not play against them.
Oh, okay. So he didn't miss any regular season time.
Not this year.
Okay.
Not this year. Okay. So, let's say I'm trying to have this conversation. You bring in a Buffalo Bills fan, and they'll look at you with a straight fucking face and say, "Yeah, and never mind about those 2 guys. You watch AJ Epinesa play." Who?
I don't.
That is what you deal with when you talk to these people, and I have a problem with it. I have a problem with it. You're talking about the best wide receiver. Fucking Stephon Diggs. Which Stephon Diggs? Games 1 through 6?
Yeah.
Or games 7 through invisible.
See,
game 7 through dropsy. Which one? No, Piss. I don't like bullshit. And when a fan base starts to mirror another fan base from another sport, another unmentionable fan base, where there is a cross relationship between these people, I got no time for it. So it's not
Toronto
a chip.
Maple Leafs.
It's not a chip. And before anybody starts, the freaking Godfather he's just the stuff that the Bills beat the Steelers. No, you fucking brain dead idiots. Okay, it's got nothing to do with that.
You're swearing way too much.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get
because I'm hot. Because I'm hot. I'm sorry.
You're hot. I'm in this
tone.
goddamn phone booth in WeWork sweating my, you know what?
Right? It's like, first of all, I would go to Rich Stadium before 80% of the fan base was even born. Okay? So
which stadium?
Rich Stadium. It'll always be Rich Stadium. Not Highmark, not whoever pays the money for the naming rights. It's the same fucking place. It's still in the same forest. No, it used to be Rich, then Ralph Wilson, and now then the naming shit. It's in the same forest, and the same dudes in the snowmobile suits come out of the forest and in through a parking lot. It was all good. Buffalo was a great place when, they had a team, but, you went there to watch the good teams come and play. That's mostly what Toronto fans used to use Buffalo as a destination to watch the visiting team. Now they get Josh Allen, and now it's like you can't talk to these people. Everything is the best. Everything is the best. And and another thing I cannot stand. Oh, they have these tricks with this DeMar Hamlin guy.
Oh, I didn't like that.
How does he win comeback player of the year? How he was a healthy inactive for more games that he played. He had one play this year. One.
Yeah, and I saw. It didn't go well, and I couldn't understand why.
And that's what they perpetrate. It's like they need a prize.
You're going to get this.
No, but that's the truth. No. But
there's a lot of Buffalo fans that watch this podcast.
Well, I'm sorry. They're going to be on you. That's okay. They can, bring it. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. What have you seen on Twitter this week? I'll tell you what I've seen about how much Buffalo Bill fans have donated to Tyler Bass's charity.
Cat?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. He saves cats. He loves cats. So they need to show that they're good people, and so they donate to him. Oh no. We're not mad at Tyler Bass. You're not mad at Wide Right Part 2. You're not. Okay, so you're not. So why do we care what you donated to his charity? Like, why? They did that with the other guy. How does he win comeback player of the year? He did not play. All it is just this love affair, love story. Love us.
You know what?
We're the Bill, and Bill's mafia. Mafia. No such thing. It's a stereotype. That's
right too. You would know that better than anyone. There's no such
thing as Let's go.
Right.
Ask me another question. Get me off this topic.
Yeah.
I'm talking about TJ Watt, and you bring up AJ Epinenza. That just shows that you're not on a level to discuss things with anybody, much less me. Next.
Okay. Well, I was at the game in Buffalo, freezing my.
I don't know why you. Why?
Because I have some Buffalo Bills
I've been there. People have asked me to go, and I've gone. I've gone places I didn't want to be at, so I understand.
It's a fun time. It's a fun time.
Yeah. And yes. It's a fun time seeing guys throw themselves off their camper onto a butane lit folding table a la WWE. Yeah, it's a fun time. Without question. Pinto Ron. I met him. So did you.
What do you mean you met him? You didn't meet him. I met him.
Yes.
Where'd you meet him?
I met him before you. In the 80s. No, huh?
Get out of here.
Okay, whatever.
Show me a picture. No picture.
We didn't have fucking pictures. You think we had these fucking things rolling around in our back pockets in the 80s and 70s?
Well, I'll tell you something about Pinto Ron's tailgate in Buffalo, right? That's where Jason Kelsey was seen taking a shot. You must have seen it circulate around the internet.
Yes, of course.
Bowling ball. Yeah. Do you know? Do you remember the last person you know personally that took a shot out of that bowling ball? No.
Chuggy?
No. My ex-girlfriend Karen. 3 days later, she broke out in measles. Measles. That was from Pinto Ron's bowling ball. I have a picture of it, but I didn't get around to asking if I could post the picture on this podcast for you guys to see it.
Get on Jason. I'm going to get on Jason
Kelsey's.
Can you do something? I thought you were the social media manager here. Get on there. Tell him this. At least tell his wife.
I sent it to Karen. Karen said if he's not up to date on his vaccines, the guy's in trouble. And you could see him hesitate a little bit because I'm pretty sure Pinto Ron uses that bowling ball every Wednesday night in Rochester, in his bowling league. This guy's taking shots out of it. So don't do that. Folks, if you're going to Buffalo, Pinto Ron is the tailgate to go to. It is absolutely insane. My buddy, shout out to Numi, who's been on this podcast a couple times with us. He's a Buffalo Bills season ticket holder. He is a supreme tailgater. So when we go there with Numi, I don't have to think. He picks me up in Toronto and he drives me to Buffalo. He knows exactly which parking lot to go to. He knows when to set up. He's got the table. He's got the chili. He's got ribs. You can see it all on my post that I did all over the internet.
That's all good. And I'm sure if I was having a conversation with somebody like him, he wouldn't bring up AJ Epinenza when we're talking about something serious. That's all I'm saying.
He can talk football, so he'd have a better chance standing up to you than I would. I don't even know who this guy is, to be honest.
You don't even fucking watch games. Why are you doing anything sports related?
It's a good time. I like the atmosphere.
Okay, let's go.
I'm happy to report that my brand new Canada Goose jacket that everyone helped me out selection-wise. A lot of people said, yes, go with it. A lot of people said, no, you're crazy. Well, I ended up going with it. And let me tell you, this could be a fault of my own. Actually, it is a fault of my own. I've never had a winter jacket like this in my life. It is amazing. It fits me amazing. It is so goddamn warm. And I'm actually sitting in the WeWork booth right now, the phone booth that heats up every time I do this podcast. And there is a stench of beer in here. And I'm pretty sure it's coming from my jacket.
Are you kidding?
I'm telling you, I smell it now. I smell it. It's beer. Yeah. And it must be from my jacket.
How can you do that to a brand new jacket like that?
When you're in the rough buff, dude, I lose control. At least this time, you spoke about the woods, people driving out of the woods. At least I got out of the woods. Or I didn't have to go to the woods. Because last time I went with the guy that I went with this time, shout out to Floydie, that's who I sat with. We were both throwing up after the game in the woods just outside the stadium. This time, at least I made it home and was in the bathroom when all that stuff happened. But dude, the chili was spicy. It killed me. I'm telling you, spicy chili.
Dude, man. You got to get your shit together. You can't handle beer and chili.
No, I can't. Not at all. Not at all. And,
I have failed as your surrogate father. Anyway.
Great time. Briefly, we'll talk about the hometown jinx, the home team jinx. That is,
you are a mush.
Yeah, absolutely.
How could they have invited you? They didn't know it was going to go.
They didn't realize my powers. They didn't realize how strong my powers were. So, I apologize, Buffalo Bills fans. I was there having a good time, but when I am in present at these games, there's a big problem. The home team loses. I'm on a crazy streak right now.
Yes, you are.
I put out a TikTok about that.
Let me ask you something. Were you part of the snowball brigade? You throwing snowballs at professional opponents? Rough buff. They radiate they love that. It's oh yeah, man, my snowball! I almost got Mahomes in the head.
No, to be honest, dude, I shouldn't say not to what I remember. I really I watched the highlights on Monday. I could have swore I was at a different game. I do not remember a lot. I know I had a good time, and and I know the Bills lost. It sucks for them.
Yeah, sure
another season down. But guess what? You know what was even more difficult? I bet the Chiefs. I bet the Chiefs money line. And
where?
I was sitting, and I was sitting with the Buffalo guys. So you know how difficult it is to fake cheer for Buffalo? I'm just cheering, but every time Josh Allen would run one in, I'd pucker up a little bit because I'm like,
the sphincter would tighten up.
Yeah.
Really? So you had KC?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I didn't think they had it. I knew. I thought that it would come down to the last play of the game, which it kind of did.
Absolutely.
And I say, you know what? Give me the champ. Give me the champ. And some of my very ambitious buddies are like, no, Buffalo's going to crush them. I'm like, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. So, and you know what? I'm going to take it a step further. I don't see Lamar beating them this weekend too. That's our next topic here, Godfather. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Who's going to do it? Are the Lions going to get there for us? Are we going to dress up like lions and act like idiots again?
You know, I'm gonna cheer for the Lions, but I don't think.
I
Pretty
don't.
tough. Pretty tough to go down to.
I think so too. But I mean,
I'll be happy. The NFL will love it. You know,
I'll be happy with whoever makes the Super Bowl. Honestly, like even if Lamar gets in there, whatever. You know, I'm happy with the final four.
What? I mean, Lamar gets in there. We don't have to put up with this Taylor Swift business. Okay, I get it. I understand the hate in that regard, right? But personally,
what do you think? Who's the final two in the Godfather's mind?
KC San Fran for me. I mean,
KC San Fran. That's who I'm going with as well. And I did mention it in my TikTok that I put out this week, folks. I am, again, the home team mush. So if there's any Detroit Lions fans or Kansas City Chiefs fans that want to ensure that their team gets to the Super Bowl, time's running out. It's already Friday night. I haven't gotten any serious offers, so you better make it quick.
I don't know. I
will go to one of these.
I read some comments and
people begging me to go to whatever stadium.
I don't know. It looked to me like you had a couple of takers, or one in particular. But anyway, we're not.
Nobody has come out and said, "Pisky, I got your flight. I got your nosebleed seat," because I'm not high maintenance. I'll sit in the nosebleed. I don't care. Yeah, I'll stay at a travel lodge. I don't need the
spare bedrooms
or anything like that. Oh. Yeah, someone did offer their spare bedroom. Yeah, I didn't push too hard there. That was weird.
That's weird.
They said there's a lot of Taylor Swift memorabilia in the extra bedroom, and I'm like,
no.
I took it as a joke, but yeah, you never know these days. It could not be a joke.
No, for sure.
Did you see what can't speak? Did you see what Derek Stevens is doing for the Super Bowl or for the NFC Championship?
Yeah, the 2 seats on his private jet.
Yeah, is that pretty cool or what?
I'm going to say that's pretty cool. Absolutely.
So the way I understand it, I have the Las Vegas Review Journal open here, and I will take another quick glance. And it looks like if you go and place $100 or higher of prop bets, either tonight or tomorrow night, you will go into a raffle to be able to fill one of those 2 seats at the NFC Championship.
That's all
in San Francisco.
A prop bet, but it obviously has to be at Circa, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. It's Circa. Yeah. So Derek Stevens, for those unaware, is the owner of Circa. Yeah. So you're not going to Caesar's Palace and placing this. Come on, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Speaking of the Super Bowl is in Sin City, which is going to be a huge spectacle. I can't even imagine. Well, I can't imagine because I got listen. I got some screenshots for us.
I know where you're going with this, and I saw a post because I make it my business to be informed.
Was it this post?
No, of course that post, but I saw another post where it said, 400,000 people or something like that are expected to come to Vegas for Super Bowl weekend, and the person basically stated that's the same number as every year. So meaning that Las Vegas is a Super Bowl destination no matter what. And thanks to you and the Full Dog and Banfield Group, I was lucky enough to be part of
2 of them.
2 of them, but one was like official.
One
Circa. Hello.
Yeah, the booth at Circle. Just let me get this. Go over this quick, Godfather, so I can get it off the screen so people can see our beautiful faces again. So this was a post today that circled X or the internet or whatever, the package for Excalibur. So you get 2, or I guess it's 1 ticket to the team, an all-inclusive pregame hospitality, weekend
it's per person,
on-location lounge access, evening with a legend cocktail reception, and a 3-night stay at the Excalibur. Excalibur, for those unaware, is probably one of the lowest grade hotels and casinos in Las Vegas. And so that's $11,995 a pop. it actually comes out to more because the Las Vegas, I forget the Twitter handle, but the Las Vegas people that put this out said, that's actually for 4-person room.
Yeah,
so you'd have to go with 3 other buddies to get that price. If you want to do it alone or with just 2 people, you're looking at these prices here, folks. So
everything in Vegas is plus, plus, plus. Can you imagine what resort fees? What? Like a hot dog will be $50. Who knows?
You think that's worth it, Godfather? You've never been to a Super Bowl?
No, I have not. I have not made it to a Super Bowl.
You know what? I at those kind of price, like, hey, listen, if there's who we've been working with lately, like we put on a good show for Bud Light at the Lions game where we dressed as Lions, trying those Bud Light cherry seltzers. If Bud Light wanted to send us,
no problem.
The Lions are there. Yeah, we'll go.
No
but
problem.
I don't think I'm paying 12, 13, 14K USD to go to a football game.
But you know what, Pisk? If my team was in it and the money, like everything's relative, right?
It's relative. Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So
that's true.
I truly believe 3 nights accommodation, even though it's a fucking rat hole. Again with this one. Even though it's a rat hole.
You know what? Right? The Excalibur is not that brutal. Like it's not like you're getting like stained carpets and shit. I don't think
I'd
so.
rather stay at Ellis Island.
No, you wouldn't.
What are you talking about?
Stop. No, you wouldn't. Ellis Island over the Excalibur? I don't know about that. I've never seen the rooms at Ellis Island, to be fair.
But... Hey, at least I know I get a good breakfast, a good meal. Come on, what's the matter with you?
Did I ever tell you the story about Excalibur? My first time in Vegas?
No. Well, you may have. I can't remember. I don't really remember.
Where I was with my porn buddy, who was the director for Brazzers. And we consumed some dangerous vegetables and decided to go walk the strip.
God, the mushrooms.
And then we walked into the Excalibur, and they have this restaurant/bar called Dick's Last Resort. So their thing is bad.
Oh, is that where they insult you?
Yeah, it's bad service. That's their thing, right? It's like a gimmick, So we walked in there, all loopy, and 2 beers, please. And they're like, "No, we're closed." And we're like, good one. All right.
Bad service,
bad service. And they're like, no, seriously, we're closed. So me and my buddy look at each other and we're like, okay, listen, we're going to be straight with you. We have may or may not have consumed some dangerous vegetables tonight. We really cannot detect if you're being serious or not. And they look just as confused as we did. And they're like, no, we're closed. And so me and my buddy looked at each other one last time and said, okay, fuck it. We got to get out of here. This is too weird. And to this very day, I don't know if they were serious or not. I don't know. Like, who closes in Vegas, right? It wasn't like it was 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's my story from the Excalibur, Dick's Last Resort. There you go. Everyone.
That's great. That's
great. So that's crazy pricing. That's crazy.
But I gotta say, I mean, a ticket to the Super Bowl alone is going to cost you $7-8 these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so that's like $12,000. You're getting the hotel accommodations. Cocktail with a legend. Who knows? I don't know. AJ Epinenza might show up. Nobody knows, right? Who this legend might be.
These Bills fans are going to be all over you.
Man,
you're going to get it. You don't like the heat. You don't like the Pisky took some heat on X this week. Godfather didn't like it.
I don't like it.
Wait till people see what you're saying about the Bills. They're going to be all over you.
Whatever.
Okay,
Tell me where I'm wrong, and then I will retract. Until somebody points that out. Nah.
Sticking in Las Vegas, something else has blown up the internet this week that we got to talk about for a couple minutes.
Oh my God.
And it was this Nachogate. So
you jumped on that pretty quick. Kudos to you.
This is the nacho platter at the Fontainebleau, the brand new casino, $3.2 billion resort that just opened on the strip in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
20 years in the making. This is their nacho platter at the sportsbook. And obviously, there's not much substance here, and especially for Las Vegas, where everything, they usually don't skip.
Bigger is supposed to be better. Yeah. And what do you expect when you bring Miami Beach to Vegas? This is what you get. You get six nachos with some a fancy ass Gruyere cheese and some shredded shrimp and some cilantro leaves and
What's
some buongiorno.
this went viral, folks. Over 1 million people shared this, commented on this, viewed this, and within 48 hours, the Fontainebleau had changed out this menu item. It is now a big portion of nachos. Is that hilarious? The power of social media once again.
Well, again,
Okay, what happens, Godfather? So that was a $26 platter, by the way. What happens if the Godfather just had a $10 espresso at Caesar's Palace, then he walks across the street to check out the new Fontainebleau, he's a little hungry, sits down, give me a platter of nachos, and that shows up. What does the Godfather do? Because what does Pisky do? Pisky probably does what that guy does. Like, oh my God, do you guys believe this? And then, maybe my post goes nuclear viral. What does the Godfather do, though? Because you're not a big social media guy. So
at a minimum, they're being taken away from the table. At a minimum, they are going to be replaced by something much more substantial. And yeah,
you get those crazy eyes that you do when you're getting ripped off.
I don't know. You've seen me tell a high-end restaurant person in Toronto to remake an espresso 4 times. You've seen me do it. So
yes.
So for anybody that they want to take up your little thing, you're in trouble with the Godfather. No. Come correct or don't come at all. When I tell you that something's going to happen, it's going to fucking happen. Okay? So no, those nachos, they go flying. They out, and that's just it. And it's not because I'm like nuts. Like I'm not stupid. Like let's not be stupid.
You're pretty nuts. You're pretty nuts.
But let's not be stupid here. Okay? and you know what the worst part of it is?
You hate getting ripped off.
Oh my God, that's one of the, don't offend me, don't disrespect, and don't rip me off.
Don't rip you off.
Those are 3 things. Everything else is okay.
A couple of days ago, I was at San Remo Bakery here in Toronto, and Godfather doesn't like that place either.
Okay, no, that's not right. And it just goes to show. Like I said, you bring Miami Beach to Las Vegas. Maybe over there, but even them, I've read all kinds of stuff that 5 top executives in the first month have left.
Yeah,
they just
a lot of growing pains.
A lot of growing pains, and it's like it took the power and the persistence and the shame. Because let's face it, social media is about shaming people, nothing else. They call it influencing. It's about shaming. Look at me. I got better clothes than you. Look at me. I go better places than you. Look at me. I take pictures of my food. I'm eating better than you. That's all it is. It took the shame of the internet for somebody to fucking understand. The guy ordered nachos. We can't bring him 6 chips with cheese melted on top of it. And
you would be so mad.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? And I don't even utilize social media.
Folks, when we were driving across the country, we stopped at this rinky-dink diner in, I don't know, just outside the Arizona border or something like that. And I think we were having breakfast. And this poor teenage server that was serving us forgot the Godfather's toast, and he went ballistic. He was so upset.
You got one job. How can you serve breakfast without toast? Come on. I'm not one of them, but you got to do your job. You don't do your job, I got a problem with you.
Well, it's funny how a lot of the other...
I did my job very well.
You did. You got a huge pension. $1 billion pension, this guy. Wow. Unbelievable.
We don't talk numbers. Let's go.
But it's funny how, a guy like Jeffrey Benson jumped all over this and posted a quick picture of what Circa's nachos look like. Do you remember Circa's nachos last year at the Super Bowl?
That, I gotta tell you,
is a nacho platter.
Those platters that came out for the Super Bowl there.
Insane.
Honestly, another issue is things going to waste are a problem with me. Maybe it's just my upbringing, right?
My mom was like that too, and that's why I eat everything on my plate.
Okay, things don't go to waste. Okay,
Yeah.
And to see the amount of food that it was impossible for the 7 of us to eat.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah. No.
Right? And we had Matty Ice with us. And that guy can throw down. And we could not make a dent into these platters.
No, impossible.
Okay? Impossible. No. So, yeah, like, of course, the Circa, Vegas is bigger is better. It's not 6. It's not. So, Nachogate, I can't believe how it took off. I love that you pulled out and you represented Toronto, Sneaky D's.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Sneaky D's.
See,
man.
I gotta do everything. You didn't bring that either. You didn't tell me about The Rock. You're not ready with the Sneaky D's.
I had it. I downloaded it, but
anyway, look it up, people. He posted it online.
Yeah, Sneaky D's is the goat area for goat restaurant for nachos here in Toronto by far.
My wife loves nachos.
Oh,
so
dude.
If I bring her to Vegas, I'll tell you, man. We're on the next plane home. Everything's going to have no credibility if that happens.
Well, I know Nad likes nice places too. Sneaky D's is not a nice place, but the nachos are ridiculous. Ridiculous. You go on my social media, folks. You can see pictures of the Sneaky D nachos there. I meant to upload it, but you know how painful it is to get JPEGs, like pictures, into this program here on StreamYard, dude. I gotta convert everything to like PDF files, and then it's such a pain in the ass.
Ever once given you shit or criticized or complained about the work you do? Once. Give me one fucking example. Not once, because I understand that. Who, me? I'm happy I can open up StreamYard or whatever. I'm happy this works. I'm happy that I plugged in my microphone and it works. So no. And don't take shit from anybody. How many fucking times have I told you that in life? Don't take shit from nobody.
You got to pick your battles, though. Mental health, you got to keep that in check.
Mental health.
If you guys aren't catching what he's putting down here, I put out a post on Twitter the other day, and people just went ballistic. But you know what? Okay, screw all the haters, screw all the negativity. It's going to happen from time to time. If you keep putting yourself out there, every now and then you're going to slip up or whatever. I don't even think what I said was that bad because, fuck, it was the truth, right?
Well, there you go.
But anyways, even when shit gets all negative and sour and gross like that, it is still amazing for engagement. And right now, I'll tell you, I'll put it out there. I'll tell you what I'm trying to do on Twitter, because Twitter is another revenue stream if you treat it the right way. And I've got 2 of the 3 check marks to start monetizing on Twitter. And the third check mark is you have to get 5 million impressions on your posts in 3 months. I'm at about 2 million right now. Okay, so the more obviously you pump out, the more you increase your chances of getting to this milestone. And once you get to that milestone, you get rev share from the ads on Twitter.
Okay.
So even when it's gross and it's garbage and everyone thinks I'm an idiot and you're screaming at me, making fun of me, whatever, the fact that they're engaging with my post is a great thing. So that's the way you kind of got to look at it. And I know you can't handle your old school Godfather. If someone looks at you the wrong way, you're going to clock them.
I'm sorry. We grew up a little different. And like I told you before we went live, I just grew up where you got a big mouth, okay? Even the smallest cockroach in the street is going to hold you accountable to what the fuck you're saying. And in today's world, none exists,
dude. Especially on Twitter. Like there are some people on there that we know personally that have very, very big mouths.
Don't yap about shit you don't know.
And they're condescending to other people and calling people like actual insults and stuff.
It's terrible.
I mean, hello. We know you. We know you in real life, right? You're a turd in real life, and I'm not mentioning any names.
No, we're not gonna go. We're not gonna go there. But
there are people that are way tougher keyboard warriors online, especially Twitter. And that's what I say. Here's the challenge, folks. You want to be a tough guy on the internet?
No, don't even bring up the word tough. You want to be a fucking know-it-all? You know everything?
It's all kinds of those. But turn on the camera. Do it this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't sit there with your big words and you know what I mean? What are you doing? Please. Turn on the camera and let the people have it. Right? Pizza Dave does it that way. People jump down his throat all the time, but at least he has the balls to sit in front of the camera and speak his mind. He's not just this keyboard warrior. Anyways, we're going to leave that alone.
Leave it alone. It's a problem. It's societal, but
it's okay. We're having fun with it. We're growing. It's all going in the right direction. There's speed bumps along the way. That's the way it goes. That's the way it's supposed to be.
I think it needs to be said just before then we can jump off this social media, okay? Nobody, either frame left or frame right, okay? Nobody has come on to a podcast, social media, whatever. These are our views. This is my view. You don't like that, I can't stand people donating to a cat charity because they want to feel good about what happened last Sunday. Hey, that's my view. We don't go on Always Betting podcasts. You didn't create this. Nobody said we're the smartest dudes in the world. Come listen to me. Do what I do.
We're a couple of recreational gamblers that have been in the space for a long time. That's what we are. And we said that since day one.
We talk if you either like it or you don't. You don't like it, go somewhere else.
Okay, on that note, let's jump ahead here, Godfather.
Yeah, you got it right. Let's go.
The Ontario Sportsbook of the Week. This just happened, but yes, the Ontario Sportsbook of the Week is BetMGM. So usually we save the sportsbooks of the weeks for when we're already kicked out, limited to $1.50, and you can no longer play the sportsbook. This is not the case for me at BetMGM. They are still giving me dimes in live betting, which for me is huge, right? Doing the middling stuff. But a lot of like extra stuff, some of the other things that we play, like soccer and I don't know, tennis and stuff like that, I'm limited to peanuts, right? But the fact that they're still giving me dimes in live betting, I got to keep it balanced there. I got to. So, if you've watched one episode of Always Betting, you've pretty much watched them all. We're going to say the same things about the sports books.
Oh, it's the same across the board. Yeah,
that we're kind of pissed off about them. But you know what? BetMGM has been good. I'll give it to them. I would say, in terms of like usable. If we're having a podium, we've told you guys DraftKings is number one in the Ontario market that we've been to so far. I'm going to put BetMGM at number 2.
Yeah.
I was able to get down good limits there when I started roughing them up a little bit. They chopped me down, which is expected, but at least it was a fight. At least they put up a fight. At least they did battle. They let me do battle.
And so and at least there are one of these books that sort of do a gradual, right? Yeah. Okay, you played a dime and a nickel, then they made you go dime, then maybe they made you go to nickel, right? Like it's not like some of these other books like, holy fuck, this guy knows what he's doing.
$1.50.
$1.50.
Yeah.
And I got a $3,000 balance.
Yeah.
And I got a rollover. Hello.
Yeah, no, it has not been like that. The gradual descent has definitely happened. But one thing I got to say is them, like all the Canby books that we've talked about many times on this podcast, they have different skins. I don't know what I should have probably looked this up, but there is like a governing company or something like that basically does them all. They send the same odds to all the same books. So identical odds of BetMGM are Sports Interaction, B-Win,
yeah, okay.
Which I was there, but they $1.50 you when you start getting too hot. So, but you can go in there and get BetMGM odds is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Party Poker or Party Sports, I guess it's called.
Party Sports.
So those 4 are identical from my understanding. Maybe slight adjustments here and there, but basically the same thing. So you have options once MGM limits you. One thing I will say is if you're a props player, this is the place for you.
Yeah.
And why I can tell you that is because this is not my first battle with BetMGM. So they would not let me sign up last year when I was living in Vegas. For whatever reason, they only took Americans. I begged and pleaded with them, the representatives. Every time I walk by the sports book at MGM Grand,
Try to get a different guy.
Yeah, they always had sales guys there, and they always try to pull me in, right? Because I was going to use the kiosk, and I told them I'm Canadian, can I sign up? And they're like, no, you can't. I'm like, I'm willing to deposit a good sum, right? I want to get in on this. They're like, we can. They go ask somebody, they go ask someone else. They would never let me in.
Yeah.
So what I was doing in Vegas last year, before the 4 o'clock get there, but before 7 o'clock games, basketball and stuff like that, I just go through all their props. I'd go to the kiosk and hammer their props. So if you're a props player, but again, like I've told the Godfather many times, and I'm going to tell all you, if you're just playing props, if you're playing 10 props a night or something like that, you are going to get chopped instantaneously.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's good to play there. Like I said, I like their live betting. I like their pre-games. I like a lot about BetMGM. But if you're a props player, make sure you're mixing in other stuff. Because just prop action, you're going to get cut super fast. That's just
super fast. Yeah,
super fast. So that's about all I have to say about them.
Yeah, another one of those books that we can kind of classify as it's too bad because it's a good interface. Yeah, it's got a great selection.
Yeah,
you can still get something.
I like that they have a search bar, right? When we
bar.
Yeah.
Is it like?
Is that so difficult, dude? I just signed up to Caesars. They have their interface is garbage. I heard that they're one of these places. I'll get to Caesars. Actually, no. I'm going to back up a second. Caesars. Listen to this. On their live betting on NBA, they have -121 on each side, which is terrible. I can't work with that. That's 120 is my max cutoff, and I hate playing by
even that's.
Yeah,
criminality.
But if you play college basketball, it's 117 a side. How does that make sense? If anyone knows, please let me know.
Any of the smart guys, if there are any smart guys that actually.
There's a lot of them, apparently.
Smart guys? Okay, well, that's good.
But yeah, I couldn't understand. But anyways, we were talking interface. Caesar's interface, no bueno.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult to,
Yeah.
Timing and speed becomes a factor in this game, especially if you're going to do the kind of shit you do. I mean, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You try to gather your thoughts. Live betting.
No, and that's why I put out a post today saying 3 ways I know how to make money in sports betting. 1 is arbitrage, 2 is middling, and 3 is partnerships with very smart, sharp players. Arbitrage and middling, you got to be lightning fast, baby. And I like to do them only at commercial breaks. And someone asked, our buddy SC asked me, Pisky, why commercial breaks? Because the reason why is because the line is jumping all around everywhere, especially in a basketball game, right? Bang, 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 bang. The line is moving like crazy. So to get these middle opportunities, I want everything to be settled, so I know I can get that number. Because if not, if I go over at Pinnacle, I'm trying to go under at BetMGM, I got to make sure that I can beat that timer that they have on it because they all have delays. And some of the delays are longer than others. The delay I'm on at FanDuel is brutal, 12 plus seconds. And some of our credit outs too, Godfather, you've noticed those delays too. That's one of the first things that they do is hey, you're sharp, boom, you got a delay on your bets. Because they
and then at checkout, they're screwing me.
Well, they've already moved the line. You got to be lightning fast, especially for the shit that you're trying to get in. Godfather's trying to play some second half basketball. If anyone pays attention to that, you know how fast some of those numbers move. So I've been trying to calm them down via text. It's not easy.
Impossible. It's impossible. I make it. I make it almost, it's just personal to me for some reason. And it's you mother, and I'm waiting and like I said, last night, anyway.
Yeah.
It's live betting is a graduation.
Yeah.
That I do not recommend.
You need
normal people. You need experience. You need to be this guy. who's been doing it for over a decade,
Yeah.
okay, and who's got, cojones that don't move or something.
I know the tendencies of the websites. I know like when they put their line up and how
nothing bothers you. How do you get through? Like, nothing bothers you. That's the only
you have to be. You have to be that way in this industry, because if you're you with a ton of emotion, man, you're gonna make mistakes, and you might chase a loss or something like that. No, you got to be robotic to be successful at this shit.
I'm not chasing losses.
No, I know. You know better, because
I'm gonna throw shit. We would throw shit. And we don't want to have words. So this is why I don't do that stuff.
He's asked me about that cash out button before, folks. He's like, this one looks over.
It's just a question.
Don't you dare.
It's just a question. I want to know what the parameters are. A win's a win, and a loss is a loss. Okay. Have I asked you again?
No.
Okay.
No, that was a stern no. Okay, Godfather, there's quite a bit left here, so we gotta.
Okay, let's go.
Gotta get moving, because I honestly felt bad about last week's episode. Like, I felt like, okay, T-Bone gave us an amazing episode. Like, I'm so happy that he agreed to come on.
But 2 hours is a killer.
Yeah, I feel like that's a.
But you're a people pleaser. You had it in your head. Don't you dare cut off the T-Bone.
Wow, that's
So you delivered. We don't make apologies here.
The fans make decisions on me.
We don't make apologies.
Unibet, Godfather. You enjoyed your experience at Unibet. It was pretty good. They aren't on the shit podium. They were somewhere in the middle. Yeah, right? You had a decent. Unibet is pulling out of the Ontario market.
Come on.
March 26th is the last day. So really? my question to you is, do you think I should make a quick deposit there? We're January 26th today. So that gives us exactly 2 months. January, February, 2 months. Do you think I should go in there and do a quick, like, bang, 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 and hope for the best? And
you
think it's worth it?
You want me to answer that question publicly? I'll answer. Yes, it is worth it, because even if I found that to be a great book. They had no choice, I guess, than to apply stern rules and regulations on me.
Yeah, it's a Canby book.
It's a Canby book, but I'm pretty sure I 3 times my money. Pretty sure.
Okay.
So I lasted 2 months, so 3 times your money. Absolutely.
I think I'm going to do it.
You'll love it there.
And I just opened another Canby book that I just discovered, folks. Casumo, Casumo. Casumo is another Canby book, in case any of you have been kicked out of all of them. And another question I got from the crowd is, do they share information? So if you got kicked out of Leo Vegas, does Play Falls know about that, or does Bet Rivers know about that? According to my knowledge, the answer is no. I'm not sure if the BetMGM guys do it, but according to what I know about the Canby books, I do not think they share amongst books. So you can go there and rough them up a little bit and then move on to the next one. But
at the end of the day, as you know, and as I believe would be the case, these sites are they not really operationally and functionally controlled by algorithms? Like, it's like we tend to attach like people are making these decisions. You trip the algorithm and that's it.
I don't know.
Or they have people that are, your account gets assigned to somebody, and then they put notes and flags, and they say Mirabello.
Yeah, but
chasing the steam.
We don't know, man, because we worked inside a. We didn't work inside a sportsbook. Let's be real. It was a lot of
information did we have on our players? None.
And I worked at a sportsbook in 2003 to 2006, so I don't really have that information. I have no idea. And that's another thing about this podcast, is that we tell how it is. If I don't have the answers, I'm going to tell you I don't have the answer.
Well, better than making shit up.
A lot of people in this industry can't do that.
No, agreed.
So March 26th, again, Unibet. If you haven't been in there yet and you want a Canby book to hammer and quick in and out, you have a deadline. You got to have your balance paid out by March 26th. So make sure it's quick.
Okay.
Quickly, Godfather, because I know this is very meaningful to yourself and me too. This guy was a legend. 4 years ago, we lost a legend. 4 years ago today, January 26th. Do you know which legend I'm talking about?
Come on, man. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Kobe Bryant, yes. Obviously we're not going to get into detail. Terribly tragic. Do you remember where we were, Godfather?
The news broke. We were on our way back to the office from Agincourt Bakery.
And Miro, shout out to Miro, was in the back seat, was he not?
Yes.
And he told us, he's like, oh, Kobe Bryant just died. And the Godfather,
my favorite player
exclaimed,
at the time,
it was his favorite player, screamed, what? And then looked at his phone, slammed his phone down in the car.
And I didn't speak for the rest of the day.
We got back to the office at Proline, and we turned on the TV immediately to see if this brutal news was true. And obviously they had, the helicopters of, looking at all the smoke and stuff in Los Angeles. And we sat in silence for the rest of the afternoon. Didn't say nothing, just couldn't believe it.
Probably the only time that we sat in silence in that office.
Yes.
In 15 years.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. So anyways,
sad
R.I.P. Kobe, and just
and Jana and the other
innocent
and
the others that don't get any recognition because it was Kobe Bryant. But there was a lot of people that lost their lives that day, and that sucks, man. Just a reminder that we're here for a good time, not a long time, and it could be all over in a blink of an eye. So you got to make sure you're doing everything, spending time with your loved ones, trying hard to every day of your life.
Just be good. You don't got to agree with whatever comes out of everybody's mouth, me included, but try to be good.
Be a good person. That's it. Life is short, man.
And then we went to Costa Rica.
We did.
Do you remember what room I got at your palatial villa that you and Fuller got?
Yes.
Number 8.
Yeah, there you go. That tied it all together.
Coincidence?
Probably not. Another thing I wanted to mention, folks, last week I had the privilege of attending an Ontario sharp sports bettors meetup. So I guess that means I'm a little bit sharp in sports betting. I don't know. A shout out to at Pete Ling 1. That is the guy that put it together for us. It was held at the Loose Moose down on Front Street here in Toronto.
How'd it
go? It was good. Honestly, Godfather, a lot of people asking for you, obviously. Like, no one gives a shit about me. They're always asking, where's the Godfather?
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
A lot of people have reached out and said, Pisky, when are you doing the next one? And Pisky, why wasn't I invited?
Yeah,
Pisky this, Pisky that.
You took some heat.
Yeah.
From common partners and people out there saying, oh, fucking Pisky sets up a bet bash in Toronto.
First
and
of all,
even invite us.
I was an invitee. I had nothing to do with setting this up. Nothing to do with it. I just told the person the person who organized it, that I would attend, and I did. Mm-hmm. And I got to see some great people there. A lot of the Twitter guys. Shout out to the XTX dude and the Bet Stamp dude and Johnny from Circles Off podcast with Rob. He was there as well.
Oh, really?
And I met a guy from Covers. Who else? Proline John was there.
No way.
He
would have been good to talk.
You know what happens when him and I get together? We just And I actually didn't meet a lot of the other people.
Couple of Greeks start yapping. Oh my goodness, forget about
it, buddy. I haven't seen John in a while, and we just yap, and we're learning off of each other. And
my apologies, Proline John. Sometimes I just don't like to leave the house.
It's funny because Sergio as well was there. Shout out to Sergio.
Is he still with the OLG? No,
he's with Pinnacle now.
Oh, very good. Good for him. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
I met one of the Pinnacle traders as well. One of the hockey live traders at Pinnacle. Shout out to Chris. I met a bunch of guys there, and man, talk about smart. Like, these guys are some of the conversations that came up, because that's what people are confused maybe about these betting things. Like, okay, there was a conversation that broke out. A lot of these guys are math dudes, and they argue about things like 2-point conversion in the NFL, right? Going toe to toe with this debate. But this goes the same for Bet Bash as well. When there's a betting meetup like that, you guys are you think this is crazy, but very rarely do people talk sports, right? It's all about which accounts are working for you, which accounts have the most longevity. When I was talking to Johnny from BetStamp, he was, explaining to me how to prime accounts, do this, do that. Like, these guys are on another level. Like, they make me feel like I'm a rookie in the industry, honestly, because they have perfected how to use bonuses properly and these boosts and these same game parlay boosts, and they're really, really good at that shit. And I'm not. I'm old school, just like, whatever. I'm going to plow through the account. If it makes me $4,000, it makes me $4,000. I move on to the other. And, they're looking at me as if I'm crazy, saying you could easily triple that if you do it properly. And I'm like, well, that requires more learning and more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, shout out to all those guys. It was great. And so if anyone wants to come to the next one or is interested in joining the next one, go follow again at, where do I have it here? At Peter. So at Pete Ling, at PETELING 1, Pete Ling 1. Go give him a follow, send him a DM, tell him you're interested. He'll put you on the list or whatever. And I told him, I said, listen, dude, I really like what's going on here. I really like what you're doing.
Get him on the podcast. What's the matter with you?
You know what? It's funny. Proline John had a really good conversation with him. And apparently Pete did some sort of lottery thing that we did, but in the UK. He's English. So, he probably would be a good podcast guest. So I will definitely work on that.
Your luck with guests is much better than your luck with the co-host. So you can go for it. You got to go for
it. We got a couple guests lined up. I'm good. There's going to be more guests. So anyways, that's the story with the Ontario betting meetup. And and I told him, I'm like, dude, if you need help, assistance, like putting this together, I'm happy to do it. And I'm happy to scream about it on TikTok or X or wherever, because there are a couple people
that is what you do.
Listen to me. Yeah. Crazy shit. So, all right. I think that's the last thing. I have one more thing here. Can we squeak it in?
Yeah, squeak it in.
Let's go.
Last week we did 2 hours with T-Bone.
So there's another Pete from X, Twitter, whatever, that reached out to me. So people are starting to do this more and more. And I encourage it. Guys, if you have a question about the sports betting industry, shoot it my way, right? I'm happy to answer it if I can. And if I can, I'm going to tell you, sorry, I can't answer that question, or I have no idea, or I can point you in the right direction.
100%.
But Pete from X reached out to me, and listen to this one, Godfather. You're going to freak. So he played some sort of same game parlay, and he connected on it, but it was wrong odds. It was an error.
Oh, I think I saw that on social media.
Palpable? Am I saying that right? Yes. Palpable error. So it was an obvious error, right? And I've told you guys before, I'm a bookmaker at heart. So for me, a player taking advantage of an obvious error is a scumbag move. That was my firm stance in this industry since the very beginning, because I grew up as a bookmaker. But a few months ago, maybe even up to a year ago now, there was an individual, a math guy, that bet an obvious error at BetMGM and got paid for it because he squawked about it on the internet saying, oh my God, BetMGM's ripping me off. And I think it was $250,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think you're right.
So this to me feels like the exact same thing. So I told Pete, I said, listen, dude. So Pete apparently won $275,000 on this prop or whatever it was. Okay. Same game parlay, I think. So I told him, I said, okay, obvious error, but I reminded him of what happened at BetMGM, and he said, Pisky, yes, I get that. And yeah, that's totally fair. But I played at a much smaller book. He didn't reveal the name of the sports book. He said it's a much smaller operation. So I don't think they're going to bend like BetMGM would. Right, because BetMGM has a big image to upkeep, right? They got to compete with DraftKings. But if you hit, let's say, Ontario's worst sports book, Power Play, right? If you hit them for $275K, you don't stand a chance.
You don't stand
right?
a chance.
So that seems to be what's going on here. But again, I used to say pure scumbag move. But now, since that BetMGM thing, I would encourage you to, yes, why not take a shot at these guys? But know what's going to come out of it is you're going to lose access to your account.
Yeah.
I mean, for $250,000, it's totally worth it because
at the end of the day,
even as a sharp bettor, you ain't beating BetMGM unless you have a big name, like you're a celebrity or something. You ain't beating BetMGM for $250,000. There's no way that's happening. Okay. So Yeah, I've changed my tune on it. Right, you get more information, you change opinions. If they're going to do it, but again, if you're going to do something like this, make sure you don't do it at a small book like Pete here. Do it at a big place like MGM, and because you can put the hook in their mouth and hopefully get something out of them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like some of the math guys that are out there,
they're smart.
They're super smart. I'm not going to dispute that.
Super smart.
I mean,
sometimes too smart. I think they
sometimes
overthink.
Too smart. Perhaps you're right. Like
my opinion,
they could do a 10-teamer and be calculating it as they're pumping them in and say, okay, that should be paying 3,000 to 1.
Yeah.
And then they see that it's 6,000 to 1.
Which
the alarm goes off in their head.
That makes it a great bet. Right. If you can find something that's supposed to pay something and it pays double or way more, you should make that bet. In the long run, it's going to pay off for you.
But the point that I'm trying to make is there's so many just casual, square, same game parlay type of players. They wouldn't have a fucking clue whether or not they're betting a palpable error. And I think it's unfair for them to get swept into the same rush of, no, you're cheating. You knew that those odds were wrong, and you played the bet anyway, and now we're not paying you. If my friends, the Perrys, who play parlays every night, I'm pretty sure that they don't know that the 16 prop that they just played, shouldn't be 6,000 to 1.
Gotcha. Okay,
you know what I'm trying to say?
I see what you're saying.
There are some people that get caught up in that.
But sometimes, if these sports books are smart, they'll profile the player, right? So if you go in, if it was my sports book, and I went in and I saw, okay, we made an error on this, and then I saw a guy, maybe he's down, I don't know, the stupid number, 65,000 in the last month. Okay, 65,000 in the last month. He hit this parlay that was bad odds that won him $5,000. I'm not screwing with that player. Pay him because we're gonna get it back.
Yeah,
right.
Those are decisions we used to make.
If you have one of these very intelligent math people that come in just to take advantage of shit like this, these are problematic players.
Yes, correct.
Right. So again, in the past, I say scumbag. Now things have changed. BetMGM made the mistake of paying out that math guy that knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Now, fuck it, take advantage of these guys. But again, consequences. You're going to lose.
And that's the thing that we can, the podcast could go on for 10 hours if we wanted to discuss, gambling X and sports wagering X and this and that.
It really pissed you off, eh? What happened?
It really did. It really did because
people attacking me and the Godfather is
like fuck you, man. Like I take that. You know what I mean? Like you intentionally intimated and you intentionally basically put it out there that this content guy at Pisky Positivo, he runs this shit through ChatGPT, and here it is. Listen, buddy, fuck you. You got it straight. Okay,
dude, you can't let these people bother you. You know what I mean? I know there are a lot of people out there that are fans of both of us and fans of this podcast, and we appreciate you guys very, very much. And that's who we're doing this for. We're doing it for ourselves, right? We're having fun with this. We're educating people. We're doing different things. We're trying, right? Life is short. Try something. Do something.
But don't say somebody plagiarized fucking ChatGPT because you're fucking bored.
Yeah. Well,
watch it.
Again, turn on the camera and say it. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Anyway.
It's water. It's funny. Can you guys see how annoyed he is right now? He is steamed.
Anyway.
All right, everyone. We're not going to keep you any longer. Thank you very much for joining us on episode 84.
84, bro.
84.
We're getting there.
Yeah. On behalf of Senor Godfather and myself. Oh my God! No, wait. Before we go, we're going to Bet Bash, Godfather. I bought our tickets last night. There you go. Did you get an email about it this morning?
I did. And why don't you clear these things with me? I'm going to tell you right
We're
now,
going to bet
publicly, I'm not coming unless you get me on the same flight and the same duration of stay as you. I'm not traveling alone. End of story. You heard me say it.
Spanky, if you go look on Twitter right before we hit live on
I'm
this
not
podcast,
playing golf. I'm not doing no speed dating. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm coming. I'm drinking. I'm enjoying. I'll listen to people talk.
I didn't sign you up for the golf. I didn't sign you up for the poker tournament because I know that's not your jam. I am going to the golf tournament. My suggestion is anyone watching this, do not join my team.
Up with him.
I am there to have a good time, not win money or anything like that. I'll get one good shot in the round. That's it. But, Spanky did comment on my Bet Bash post a couple hours ago and asked, "Is the Godfather coming this time?"
No way. You
go
say
look
these
at it.
Things.
Go look at it.
You know I will.
Go look at it. All right, everyone. We're signing off with that. Catch you guys next week.
Ciao.